What's up guys, Nashti here and welcome back to my channel. So today's vlog episode was suggested to me by a friend. We're gonna talk about the things you have to consider when buying a condo. Basically, these are the things that you have to think about, you have to prepare for when getting a condominium unit. So let's not wait any longer, let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty. Okay, so this vlog episode would already assume that you've already decided to purchase and live in a condominium unit. You know, as opposed to living in a house and lot or a townhouse. So this also assumes that, it suits your needs and is in line with your short-term and long-term goals. And I suggest before you make any decision, before we even start talking about the things that you have to consider in getting a condo unit, you have to check it personally and survey the place, the area, and the actual unit. If not the actual unit, probably the model unit. So in getting a condo unit, there are 6 things that you first have to decide on. First is budget. How much is your budget? How much can you afford? How much are you willing to pay? So you can actually pay in cash. You can apply for a home loan from a bank or of course through pag-ibig. You also have to take into consideration the number of years that you have to pay for the said condo unit. Of course, the longer the term, the higher amount of money you'll be shelling out because of interests. Number 2 is location. Should it be near your workplace, which is the usual reason why people get a condo? Or another reason is they want to be near the malls, the hotels, the hospitals, the schools and universities. So should it be located in a business district or would you be using it as a vacation home? Because, not all condo units are just in the city. Some are in the provinces, others are available in island destinations. Other things you also have to consider when it comes to location is the security. Like, is the area known for high crime rates, or is it relatively safe? Is it near probably a police station or a military compound? Another thing to take into consideration when it comes to location is it situated near a fault line? Is the area prone to flooding? Is it near a volcano? So these are the things that you have to also take into consideration when it comes to location. So number 3 is the building itself. Should it be a high-rise one, a mid-rise, or a low-rise? So basically, the choice is in the number of floors. Well, normally, almost all modern condominium units have elevators. The low-rise ones would also have, stairs, as opposed to high-rise and mid-rise condos where they only use the stairs for emergency. If you choose a high-rise or a mid-rise building, which floor should you be in? Like if you're in a higher floor, when there's an earthquake, then you can feel the shaking more. Also, when there's a fire drill, an earthquake drill, or for some reason you cannot use the elevator, you would have to walk all the way down. So that's another consideration. The number of elevators is also a factor because if there's just 3, 4, then it may not be enough, especially if it's a high volume condominium. So you have to also take these things into consideration. Number 4 is the developer. The developer that you should be choosing should be a credible one. So this should be the more popular and known ones who have been constructing condos for years already. So they should not be involved in scandals, if you know what I'm saying. And they should be known to deliver things on time. Like for example, they promised that the condo would be finished by this quarter of this year, then it should be finished by that time. And of course, the quality of materials that they use. There are some developers, they want it to be high quality, and some would try to just construct as fast as they can, and sometimes the quality of materials suffer. Number 5 is of course your real estate agent. Preferably, this should be someone with experience and license. As you know, there are a lot of legal documents involved when purchasing a condominium unit, so you have to connect to someone who knows these things. You should always avoid colorum brokers. And lastly, of course, number 6, availability. Is it ready for occupancy? Is it pre-selling? If it's pre-selling, like how long will you have to wait before you can actually live in the condo unit? Or is it already under construction and in a few years or months you can already move in? You should also take into consideration if you want to actually purchase a brand new condo unit as opposed to a second-hand unit. Of course, it has its pros and cons. When you get a brand new unit, then of course the title is fresh. There's not a lot of issues that you should be dealing with, like burst pipes, problem with the plumbing, problem with electricity, problem with anything. Of course, when you're living in a condo already, it would be subject to the normal wear and tear, and then you'll soon experience problems. So that's also another thing to take into consideration. But if you get like a second-hand unit, given that there would be some issues already, normally second-hand units are more affordable. So once you've decided on the first 6 things that we talked about, which is basically budget, location, building itself, developer, the real estate agent, and availability, then you have to decide on other things. Once you've decided on all 6, you now have to decide what size of condo do you want. Should it be a studio unit? Should it be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom? Should it be 3 bedroom, a loft type? How many bathrooms do you need to have? Does it have a maid's quarter, a laundry area? Is it spacious enough for your furniture and of course other appliances? So these are some of the things that you also have to think about. Also, what floor? As again, I've already mentioned, the floor that you're in would affect your mobility when the elevator is not functioning or there's only a few elevators working. Of course, when you live in a higher floor, you probably get a better view depending on where your condo is located. Do you want to have a balcony? Because some would want to have a balcony because normally you cannot smoke inside the condominium unit. So some would use the balcony for smoking. Windows. Would you want like floor to ceiling windows, or you probably want like just a small window because for safety reasons, if you have kids or pets, if there's like a large window, then they may fall off. So you have to take these things into consideration. So what are the other things that you have to take note of? Monthly amortization. If you did not pay in cash, you did not pay in full, so then you would have to pay some monthly dues, and depending on the terms that you have chosen, then the amount would vary. Of course, there's also the real property tax that you have to pay yearly. Another consideration is the noise level. So again, when you live in a condo as opposed to a house and lot, then you would have your neighbors beside you, on top of you, under you. Really, it really depends on where your condominium unit is located. There would be some noise coming from them, especially if they're the noisy ones. Of course, if they have pets or you have pets, then it would also make some noise. Families with children, we all know that, especially when babies keep on crying. Those who are karaoke lovers. Of course, there's also road noise and construction nearby. So if you live within the city, there's some road noise, of course, especially if it's beside a highway. If there's a lot of construction going on, then there would also be noise coming from the drilling, and it could be many things. You also have to take into consideration pollution level. So if you live in the urban area or business districts, then there's a higher chance that the air is more polluted as opposed to getting a condo in a province or somewhere more isolated. Population density. So this one is usually a concern with low-cost condos because the developer would want to have as many people as possible living on a certain floor. So there's going to be more units per floor. Aside from the number of rooms per floor, you have to take into consideration the hallways and of course the number of elevators, because if there's a lot of you using the elevator, then you're gonna have to wait a longer time. And then for the hallways, some tend to be claustrophobic, especially if it's quite tight. You also have to take note of security. You have to have a concierge below. You have to have a doorman. You also have to have security systems within the condo unit, CCTV cameras, and then of course amenities. The main advantage of getting a condominium unit as opposed to a house and lot, especially if you don't live in a very exclusive village or gated community, you would not have these amenities if you don't live in a condo unit. Should it have a gym or a fitness center? Should it have a pool? Should it have a jacuzzi, a lap pool? So it really depends on the developer. Should the condo have a spa, a clubhouse, various courts for basketball, badminton, volleyball, tennis, function halls and meeting areas? Some condos would have parks and of course commercial establishments below, like restaurants, and parking for guests. Of course, you would want to invite friends and family over, so parking is also very important. Next thing to take into consideration is homeowners association fees. Normally, this includes insurance and maintenance fees, fees for landscaping, water, plumbing, sewer services, road maintenance, and trash pickup. So every condo would have homeowners association dues, and it varies depending on the area and what kind of condo you're living in. So if it's a high-end condo, it would be more expensive, but then again, you'd have more amenities. We also have to talk about the monthly utility fees, monthly utility dues. So of course, there's electricity, there's water, there's internet, there's cable, and of course if you like Netflix and all sorts of other subscription services like Spotify, etc., then these are all added fees that you have to take into consideration. Also, there's the maintenance and management company. Basically, this is the property manager of your condominium building. They take care of the upkeep, the property management, cleaning, and sometimes even enforcement of rules and regulations. The engineering. There are other concerns that may still arise. Is it pet friendly? So for pet lovers like me, you would probably want to have a pet with you in the condo because sometimes it really gets lonely. So do they allow dogs? If yes, how big? Normally they only allow small dogs and of course cats and probably, I don't know, like hamsters and fish. Can the condos be rented? There's a possibility that you won't be living in the condo for a long time, probably due to a different work location, or you probably got an opportunity abroad. So can the condo unit be rented out, which is also a possible, income opportunity for you if they allow it. The resale value and of course the lifespan of the condo. Normally, if your condo is in a good location with a reputable developer, it would have a good resale value. Sometimes the resale value gets higher, especially if you buy something pre-selling. Once the condo is ready, then you can sell it for a higher amount. Then of course, parking. We've tackled parking for guests, but you probably also want a parking of your own. Depending on the area, it could range from 500,000 to more than 1 million pesos. Some condos bundle their parking with the unit, but it's kind of rare. Also, when there's a parking space, would you want it to be covered in a multi-level parking on a basement, or should it be like on an open area? So again, this all depends on the condo that you will be choosing. So there you have it, guys. I've already shared my thoughts when it comes to the things that you have to consider before getting a condominium unit. Again, there's a lot of them that you have to think about. It's not easy, but I'm sure it's gonna be fun, especially when you have your family and friends with you, or probably a registered broker who can share and give his or her advice there. So I hope you learned so much from this episode. If I missed something and you still have a question, you can probably ask it on the comment section below. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to like the notification bell. Only here on the channel where Nashty is nice. I'm Nashty.